Welcome again to Getting a Grip on Things with I am James the Thinking Contractor and Elijah Edwards, the underpaid producer. What episode is this, Elijah?
This is episode number 7.
Wow.
And I have some big news.
Go for it. What do we got?
We are now joining the Failure to Stop network called C- Media. I'm also the producer for all of those podcasts, and it's pretty big news. It's
nice.
not easy to be part of a network. It's awesome. Eric's
great, man. That's awesome.
Going to be awesome to work with on this. Hopefully, it gives this show a little bit more exposure. Get some of the law enforcement audience to watch our content.
Heck yeah, we love our officers.
Yes. So, just wanted to make that announcement.
Just kidding.
I have a joke loaded right now that I cannot say. What are we talking about today?
All right, man. This show is going to be different. It's do not comply. Now, obviously, we talk about this. It's always interlaced. We're conservative, right? I mean, you and I definitely are right of the middle on conservatism. I'm probably too conservative for Republicans. So
you are.
Whatever,
I can
man.
attest to that.
I can't stand Republicans. They drive me nuts, and so do Democrats. They're both, this two-party system sucks. However, I will say this. I think that the two-party system is good because it sucks, but it's good. Meaning, I think when it was originally planned, when it started, the idea is that when one side, right or left, became too dominant, because both of them were constitutionally driven, you should be able to slide to one side or the other to bring balance back. But they're so both completely unbalanced and out of their effing minds that there's no balance at all. We can't slide. I can't slide to the Democrat Party. Dude, I'd show up at the door. They wouldn't even let me walk down the sidewalk to get to the door. They'd start crying. And then you get to the Democrat or the Republican Party and look at me. I mean, just look at me. The Republicans, they are afraid of me. I don't fit in their golf club conservative.
He's not wearing a suit and a tie.
Right, dude.
I'm so scared.
It's true. I'm too conservative for conservatives, but I look like a radical, like whatever. They don't know what to do with me.
He actually uses a firearm.
Dude, the thing is there's a lot of people that are waking up to this garbage.
Call the police, please.
The police don't show up.
We can be gay now.
Oh, my God. Gay publicans?
Ron DeSantis, call the police.
He's not gay, is he? Ron? No, he's married and has like...
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Could all be a front.
Could be. All right, so we're back on track, dude. We're talking about not complying because what's happening right now is that the masks are coming back, and we're going to get into this, and are they though? Are they really coming back? I mean, Joe Biden's he's on the loose right now. Just the mainstream media is pushing this garbage. Joe's pushing it. His whole administration is pushing it. But the thing is we're a lot more educated at this point now, and people are raw. So guys like me that were like fighting it tooth and nail at the very beginning, I don't look as crazy as I did 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's kind of like how everybody viewed Alex Jones, right? And they're like, I mean, yeah, he's nuts. But a lot of the stuff he talked about turned out to be 100% true.
Gay frogs! Gay frogs! They're got put fluoride in the waters and it's making the frogs gay. Is he right? He was right about the gay frogs.
He actually was. He 100% was.
Oh, gay frogs. Okay, so listen, dude, when we get into this, before we dive into that, I want to talk about something. I watched a movie last night. Now listen, I kind of knew what I was getting into, but oh my gosh, it was The Whale. I watched the movie The Whale. Do you have ever seen it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen it. I know what you're talking about, and I've seen the scene, and it became a meme, right?
No, which scene are you talking about?
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Him dying and like going
floating off.
This is him just going and then just like levitating. First of all, I don't think God has the strength to lift that man. And
please, that's not based on a true story or anything, is it?
I don't know, but I'm telling you now that him floating is completely unrealistic.
Well, it's supposed to be like he's getting taken to heaven, which, to be honest with you, man, I watched the movie. So here's my 30-second critique on it. It is a pile of flaming poop. It's just garbage. I thought, you know what? Maybe there's some substance here. No, there's no substance.
There's none. There's absolutely none.
It is a woke, ridiculous, absolutely anti-God, and what they're trying to do is the whole love is love thing. Dude, when he was I made love to my boyfriend, and he's telling this missionary kid that ended up smoking weed, and the whole point of it is, dude, honestly, the whole point of the movie is that we don't need a savior. Right? Because at the end of the movie, his savior was his daughter. And she was filled with hate. It was abusive. It was a dark, depressing movie. And as a Christian, I looked at it and thought, wow, this proves even more that we need grace. We need a savior. We need grace. And the thing about this movie is, Elijah, they, in that movie, reject God's grace. They tried to put religion into, religion and your Bible verses, and you think you're better than us. But grace, God's grace, was never talked about. So
yeah, well, it's very rare for it to be talked about.
Right. And I mean, like, dude, like, I get it. Like, even my hat, like, where's it at? 70 times 7. That means that we're they asked, like, how many times, Jesus, should we forgive someone? And Jesus's reply was 70 times 7, an infant amount, or that many times, whatever you want to say. It's just a lot. We need to forgive each other a lot. Yeah. So there was forgiveness in that movie, which I thought was the only type of, saving point of the movie, is that there was forgiveness, but there was no grace with God. They rejected God's forgiveness, but they said inwardly, your salvation comes from you forgiving people. And in essence, there's some truth there, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is, though, is that you have to accept God's grace. You can't forgive people and then reject God's grace. And that's the loss right there.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry you watched such a crappy movie.
Right.
I do want to talk about my new addiction.
Oh, what's that?
It's not food. Well, it kind of is. But
the whale.
Fishing. Okay? I have been fishing with our boy Powder, and...
You have any? I need to see pics, or it doesn't exist. Whoa! What is he? Look at the Bass Pro. He's got a bass hat on, dude. That's about a what? Bass a 7-ouncer. That's a 7-ounce. That's a full 7 ounces right there. Did he throw it back? What is that? Is that a crappie? What is that?
It's a bluegill.
It's a bluegill.
He caught a little baby bluegill.
Look at that mean face though, like he pulled in a marlin. I love that guy. We love you, Powder.
I caught a fishing pole.
Nice.
That's what I caught while trying to catch fish.
Are you kidding me right now?
Dude, I thought I had the biggest fish ever.
Oh my
because
gosh.
It was so hard to reel that in. Look, I had a look at my rooster tail caught the bottom of the pole because it was spongy, because it was so wet that it sunk into it.
You know what? That the 8-year-old that stood up there when he first got that pole to cast for the first time, that's how you caught it. He lunged out of his hands, and there was tears.
Yep.
And you just captured it.
Yep.
You pulled in a memory, a lost memory.
But I also caught this.
Whoa.
That's a big fish. It was a huge fish, dude. It was a big bass.
Wait, can you pull up Alex's picture with that at the same time?
No, I can't.
Oh, because I would love.
I can in post.
Yeah, but you don't like doing that.
Yeah, I don't want to drag a bunch of photos up.
Now that's a fish.
You want to see a real fish?
Yeah.
This is what I caught right after Alex caught that, or Powder.
Yeah.
Caught that bluegill.
Dude, is that a lure? What is that?
Look how small it is. It's as big as one of my fingers.
Oh my gosh, dude! Did you throw it back, or did you
kill
it?
I ate it right there.
No, dude, you probably wrecked it with how did that thing even get a hook in its mouth?
Dude, I have no clue at all. So yeah, I bought a boat.
So your addiction just started. Like I
went from, okay, I'm fishing in a kayak on vacation,
right,
on a lake. And I was like, you know what we should do, guys? We should buy a freaking boat.
So the fishing started like, okay, just so a timeline here. You didn't like buy a boat, go fishing, and go, I'm addicted. You were fishing and then said, we need a boat.
Yes, I bought a boat within 1 day. Within 1 day of fishing.
You're like, screw this dock fishing, Alex. We're getting a boat.
I was like, dude, we're buying a boat.
Did you ask your wife? Dude, you had...
Everybody else did, and my dad, while we were on vacation, he goes, how does Brooke feel about this? I'm like, she's fine. She's fine with it.
You made her feel fine about it.
Yeah, and then
we are
like,
getting
okay.
a boat, Brooke, and you have no say in this whatsoever.
She likes it. She's
Nice.
happy about it. It's sitting in our garage.
Is she? Have you taken her out on it yet?
I can't legally take it out because I don't have it registered in my name. So, or a plate for the trailer.
You know what I mean by have you taken her out on the boat yet?
Oh, yeah.
You can keep that in the garage. Oh my gosh, we're married. We can do whatever we want
On boats.
on boats.
It's not limited to the bedroom, folks.
All right. So that's awesome, dude. I love it. So speaking of fishing, oh, dude, like I honestly, when you started bringing this up, I got really excited because I've been fishing as well. And you don't have any of the pictures of stuff. I've been catching out of my own pond. We had no idea that we had
That
bass.
you had monsters.
Dude. And so my youngest and I, we've been fishing and we don't catch anything. We go to our pond and we're like, dude, why fish anywhere else? This is amazing. That was a small one.
That was a small one.
Yeah, but we have other pictures like they're huge. Anyway, don't show my kid, but
That's why I did you.
yeah, but I've got other pictures I'll have to show later. But do you have, so speaking about fishing, it's funny that we're talking about this because I think it's just randomly came together because all of this stuff, we're talking about grace, right? In the movie The Whale. Do you have that clip from Theo Von?
You bet I do.
I thought it was funny.
And some people at different churches, they don't respect people from other churches. And that is called gracism. When people have gracism, they ain't offering grace to everybody. No.
Dude, I can't. I have a hard time taking him seriously, but that word gracism is hilarious.
Oh my gosh, dude. What a freaking... Do you know how that came up?
No.
So there was somebody literally, I think they called in, like he does like a call-in thing for his show.
Right.
Somebody called into the show and their name was Grace. And that's how he just randomly jumped to gracism.
He is a different breed of human, dude. I don't know how his mind...
Dude, he's incredible.
He connects things that I'm like, dude, how do I follow this guy? But, just think about like the movie The Whale, Grace, fishing. And I started, as we're talking about this show, we're going to move into not complying.
Finally, the main topic.
Well, yeah, we're going to get into it. But like, I wonder sometimes like Jesus said like, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. But you ever just think like that little tiny guppy you caught and you're like chucking fish back. You're like, no, this one sucks. Did Jesus ever throw fish back? Do you think the disciples ever like caught and released just for fun?
I don't know. They were doing different kinds of
Netting.
fishing than us.
Yeah, they were
for
netting.
sure. Yeah, they were netting fish.
And that's
they
where you
weren't. They didn't have their ugly stick.
Maybe they did though. They were fish. I mean, they made a livelihood out of it. But some fish you can't catch in a net. They're harder to catch. And
I wonder. I'm going to look this up.
Yeah.
What kind of fishing pole did Jesus use? What kind of
It was a gray stick. It was not an ugly stick.
gray stick?
But listen, dude. So like, we're talking about that, and he's funny. Gracism. I think, and so as we get into the do not comply thing, there is a balance here with getting a grip on things in our show. I want to bring this up in the very beginning. There's a point to all of this banter that we're having. You can become defiant towards tyrannical rule and law, but we can still have grace with people. We can still be kind. No, don't get me wrong. There is a time and a place where it will require a physical pushback of strength and of resolve, but we can still have grace. We can still forgive. We can still move on. And I think that as long as we stay in this place of non-compliance, it's going to be tough. We have to maintain a level of grace. And I struggle with this, Elijah. I really do, dude.
So do I.
Yeah. Because I'm pissed. I'm royally pissed. But anyway, did you find anything?
I'm trying to find. Apparently, no, they did not use rod and reel, but very wealthy people had access to fishing line.
Wow.
So,
Wonder what it was made out of.
probably like a rope.
Yeah. Or
Honestly,
yeah.
they were fishing a sea. You know.
Maybe horsehair. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, pointless. All right, dude. So let's call Tony. Let's listen.
We gotta ask him.
We gotta
all the
ask
questions.
We have to get into compliance, and I'm going to screw with him a little bit. Let's hear what Tony has to think about the topic of masking, and we're going to tell him that it's going to happen tomorrow, and he doesn't have a choice. So here we go. Hola.
Hola, senor.
Dude, I got some bad news to tell you.
You got bad news?
It's really bad, man.
Yeah.
What is the bad news? Did the test results come back and you're positive, ain't it?
They just made an announcement that masking is coming back 100%, and we have to mask up starting tomorrow at that property that you're at.
Well, it looks like I'm going to have earlier vacation than I thought. That dumb fuck president we got just talking about the other mandate and saying that, he basically just said what you said. He said another pandemic's coming and...
Are you going to do it? Are you going to mask up tomorrow?
No.
Dude, we're not wearing the masks. I was joking with you. There is no. I just wanted to get your response because I knew it would anger you. Okay, so, dude, he is never ending with just his isms, Tony-isms.
Tony is the greatest man to ever grace Taylor, Michigan.
I think he said that, didn't he, or something along those lines?
Probably at some point.
Right. All right. So, he's not wrong. I mean, dude, it's just a joke. They're pushing. They're going to try to make us comply. Even like you mentioned in the beginning, Eric, with failure to stop, his big push right now is do not comply.
He's trying to make people like change their profile photos on Instagram and Facebook to
I'm going to do that,
some
actually.
graphic they've made.
I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to hop on that because I totally back that movement.
Do it. We should do it on our own Instagram page.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
So we need to do that. But basically, like as we're moving in this direction of they're going to force this garbage, right? We have to take a stand now. Things have changed. Listen, the science is not there. So I did pull something up about that, about not complying. Do you have the Charlie Kirk clip that I brought
Yep.
Okay,
Hold
this
on.
is important. Dr. Malone, Dr. Robert Malone. They hate this guy too, by the way, mainstream media.
Has just come out and has said mask mandates in every single one of their hospitals. Rutgers University is saying mask mandates. We know of several school districts that have already closed the school COVID lockdowns.
Oh my
What have you
gosh.
learned that you can share with the audience as the most effective method of non-compliance and civil disobedience?
This is important. I like what he says.
Well, the first one is just say no. It's very simple.
Pause
Don't
it.
buy in.
Stop right there. Listen, before we go any farther, that's it. I mean, you don't need to listen to anything else in this video other than his first point.
Yep.
Say no. Just no. I mean, that if we're talking about the reality of the situation, if more of us now understand it, I don't care what you did a couple years ago, and right now though, if you're that person, the most effective thing to do is to just say no, and then do not waver. It's that simple. That's exactly what I did, and that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see a lot more people actually standing up to it because, I mean, I was pretty passive during the whole last run of it in 2020, 2021.
A lot of people just wanted it to stop.
I just wanted to just move on with my life and live.
Yeah.
But this time around, I'm not doing any of that.
But look what that cost us, Elijah.
If my doctor's office is going to require me to come in and wear my mask, I'm not going to do it. And you know what? I'm going to have another doctor's appointment in September or October. And that's when I have to go in again to start getting refills on my meds again.
Yeah.
I will not go in. I will suffer. I will suffer medically.
We
and
need to
not
get
go
50
in.
to 100 people when it comes down to that for those that are sick. Put our money where our mouth is, and we need to walk in by the hundreds to help people. They can't stop 100 people from walking in. They can refuse service. They can be that tyrannical. But the point is the hospitals are out of control. They know that this crap doesn't work. They know it. But we can't let them hold us hostage again. I mean, I haven't gotten surgeries. I haven't gotten my shoulder surgery because of all this stuff, and I've postponed it so much. Guess what? I was going to get it. I was going to go move forward with it, but now round 2 comes and the masking's coming back. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it done, but it's going to require people sticking together and actually doing something this time. The laziness has to stop. Anyway, go ahead, play the rest of it. I want to hear the rest of what he says.
And there'll be consequences. There always are. But what's happened now as opposed to before is that a lot of these legal cases have proceeded through the courts, and there's much more legal precedent, particularly about religious exemptions. So be aware of the power of religious exemptions, particularly as it relates to the imposition of shot mandates. Another thing that can be done is really to act in unison and to communicate to others about what the true facts are, what the data are.
Okay, that's good.
So that people
perfect, dude. Like, you can take that down. So, like, listen, acting in unison, religious exemption, the data. Now, listen, I stood before so many school boards. If you want to go back and look at, I Am James, the Thinking Contractor page, or even getting a grip on things, there's clips of me standing in auditoriums before school boards. They don't care about the facts. They don't care about the data. However, the reason why I think it's important now more than ever is because of the legal cases.
Yeah.
We have the science in our favor. Here's the thing. The coverings,
There you go.
they don't work. The coverings, absolutely, they are ineffective to a degree where it's pointless to even...
Yeah.
Wearing the covering on your face causes more damage to you mentally and physically than it does wearing it. And that's the truth. So in confined space, when you wear a mask, when you're forced to wear a mask, you need to take breaks. But the virus goes right through them unless you're wearing a full face respirator. So, and then if you wear that kind of respiration, you have to take breaks, and people are not taking breaks. In short, this is unconstitutional. It is absolute garbage.
I want to share this real quick, and we'll also talk about an article that kind of spurred on like what we're talking about.
Right.
Masks still don't work, and this is from 2022. More than 2 years on, the best scientific evidence says that masks don't stop COVID.
No.
And public health officials continue to ignore it.
Yep.
Per CDC statistics.
I know.
And more than 99.99% of children in California, where Governor Gavin Newsom has imposed covering mandates. And more than 99.99% of children in Florida, where Ron DeSantis didn't do that, have not died of COVID.
No, dude, this is political.
And that it's all a political move. If I go back and look at this is my search history. Masks don't work science, right? Because I was just trying to find an article that had references to the data. Masks work. Look at they started putting this out a few months ago. They're already preparing. They were already preparing us.
I know
for this, and we had talked about that on the phone the other day. What was it? The media. What was it that we talked about?
I don't know.
It's like the media programming or whatever.
Oh yeah, mass formation psychosis.
Yeah, it's scary because they first start with media outlets, and that's how it starts to move through.
Right. And if you're tied into just like one way of thinking, so here's where the whole thing is like, well, I'm gay, or I'm a minority, or everybody ties themselves to something other than the Constitution. Have you noticed that? Like, I'm a Republican. Nobody in this argument or debate of the weaponization of everything. As Americans, we are very unique to this. Now, see, everybody has this ability to say I have unalienable rights. But America, we formed documents around God-given rights.
Yeah.
Right? So we, as Americans right now, should be like, I don't care if you're gay and you're an amputee and you're a minority. I mean, I could go on and weigh a lot of any victim status that you could apply to giving a reason why you care more than me, which that's where we're at. Which is none of that's true, by the way, but anything that you can apply to that and say, this is why I am liberal. Okay. Where's the Constitution in that? We have thrown the baby out with the bathwater. Republicans are doing it too. Now we have to get back to the Constitution. And I think that's why the do not comply thing appeals to everybody, because both sides are weaponizing all of this. So we can get into that, but so Dr. Malone nails it. If we're just diving into it, do you have that clip? You know, we're wrapping up. We don't have to belabor this point. I think this was a great show. Let's do the New York Times. I want you to show.
I have it pulled up and ready to go.
Okay, so New York Times says, "Is it time to wear a mask?"
And this
again?
is what sparked our idea to have this as a topic for this show.
Yeah, and I want to encourage anybody watching this. The New York Times is as left as they come, and you need to go read this article, because what Dr. Malone just said goes against everything that this New York Times article says, and it's written by this lady right here. Her name is
Danny Blum.
Danny Blum, and she is as liberal as they come. And I mean, you can read it, and so she's talking about when you should wear a mask, and everyone's risk tolerance varies. Dr. William Schaefer, an infectious disease specialist at Vanderbilt, she's using all of this like clout, like this
and
is
when should you wear a mask inside? Never.
It doesn't do anything.
Now, you know, the thing is that masks can be effective for people in healthcare, right? Like, but not for COVID.
Yep.
Like, or COVID-19, sorry. It's not, I mean, this is just, obviously this is like, let's see this.
Includes stores, offices.
If you are 65 or older, have an underlying condition that makes you more vulnerable to severe disease, or are pregnant, he recommends wearing a mask.
Right. So this guy from Vanderbilt, Dr. William blah, 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 goes against a whole other load of doctors that say otherwise. So people are caught in the middle going, well, who do I believe? Clearly, the New York Times is a liberal media. Dr. Malone is coming from a conservative point. But these are doctors. So what is the problem here? Why aren't our doctors agreeing with this? And here's why. OSHA. You know that, right? OSHA, and so
you would know more about that than
so
me.
here's the problem. They tried, and nobody remember. No one's talking about this. Do you remember when they tried to make OSHA make it regulations that you had to do it, and OSHA could not do it? You want to know why? Because it's not safe. It's not safe. Do you remember when they tried to make OSHA regulations forcing people to wear masks? And they know. And I know, because I've worked in the environment where you have to wear them. And this crap is not safe. So now they're going
Why is it not safe?
Because you breathing through a cloth or any type of covering on your face, it does not. I mean, dude, there was an Asian woman that was the spokesperson for masking. You can go, I can't remember her name. She was like, I don't think you should even be allowed to leave your house. Well, her child couldn't talk. And she came back publicly and said, I was wrong. I'm a doctor and I was wrong. I've damaged my child. And the mainstream media canceled her. And she was their spokesperson. Right now, OSHA, still, they won't get on board with this because there are lawsuits out the you-know-what if you force people to do this. But doctors, however, you can get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion.
Yep.
And they're the only people losing their licensing in the medical field are those that are coming against the mainstream media outlet of these people that are bought and paid for. And here, I want to say this really importantly. We lost some of our sovereignty with our medicine and our medical freedom when Obama was in office. When he brought in Obamacare and forced stuff unconstitutionally, and a lot of it got pushed back, like, no, dude, you're overstepping your bounds. You can't do that, right? Some of it did slip through. And the fact that we have Obamacare right now and made group medicine has taken away individual medicine. So these doctors that are pushing this crap, they're getting paid. They're getting paid out of a network, and they, if they go against it, can lose a lot of money. That's a fact. So it sucks, dude. It absolutely, but we can't comply.
Here's the message. Do not comply.
Do not comply. Yep, that's it. There's nothing else to talk about. Share this show, talk about it, get educated.
Yeah, leave us a review. We have listeners on iTunes, man. Leave us a freaking review, you turds.
Seriously.
I'm over. Comply and leave us a review. That's what I want to say to you.
That's right, man. Thanks for watching.